This video is brought to you by...
You already know what it is. Cool Green Clothing. We done gone worldwide, and we coming straight out of Baltimore. And if you're in town, pull up on us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you're not in town, go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
It's your girl, Mrs. Tony, 2 times, and I'm back with another episode of the Baltimore Way. In this video, I'll be discussing the story of Tiesha Rogers, who was living her dreams at just 22 before tragedy struck. But before we get into this video, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony 2 Times family. Tap the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And of course, feel free to share this video with everyone you know. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. Back in 2015, 23-year-old Tiesha Rogers had goals, ambitions, and according to everybody who knew her, one of the biggest hearts you could ever come across. She wasn't the type of person who only cared about herself. Family members described her as generous to a fault. If somebody needed help, Tiesha was there. If somebody needed food, money, advice, whatever it was, she would try to make it happen. Her grandmother, Charlene Alexander, said Tiesha would literally give people her last dollar if she felt they truly needed it. And Tiesha wasn't just kind, she was a go-getter. While a lot of people in their early 20s are still trying to figure out their next steps in life, Tiesha was making big moves. Tax records showed she had actually purchased her very own home in Dundalk, Maryland. For a 23-year-old, buying a house entirely on your own is a major milestone. It was a symbol of her independence and a place I'm sure she was incredibly proud of. But because Tiesha was who she was, that new house on the 7200 block of Conley Street wasn't just something to brag about at her age. It immediately became a safe haven. Because she was so given, her doors were always open. If a friend was going through a rough patch, needed a place to clear their head, or completely lacked a roof over their head, Tiesha would let them stay with her. She probably wanted her success to be something she could share with the people she cared about. But looking back, you can't help but wonder if that incredible generosity, that open door policy, and a desire to rescue anyone in a tight spot is exactly what ended up putting her in harm's way. Because sometimes people with the biggest hearts end up putting themselves in situations where they trust the wrong people. The neighborhood where Tiesha lived was relatively quiet, nothing too crazy. A homeowner's block with families maneuvering through everyday life. Tiesha was no different. By March 2015, Tiesha had been living in her home for a few months. Her neighbors became familiar with her and would see her from time to time. Monday, March 9th, 2015, started like any other day. As the day went on, Tiesha and one of her friends decided to head out to go shopping. They were probably out running errands, grabbing what they needed, probably laughing and enjoying each other's company, completely unaware what was about to happen next. It was just before 10 p.m. when they finally pulled back up to Tiesha's home on Conley Street, right near the Oaklawn Cemetery, just east of Interstate 95. The neighborhood was quiet, dark, and more than likely settled in for the night. Tiesha parked the car, and the two women grabbed their shopping bags. They stepped out of the vehicle and started walking up toward the house. But they didn't even make it to the front door. Out of the shadows, at least 2 individuals emerged. There was no argument, no robbery attempt, no warning. The individuals immediately opened fire on both women in a sudden, terrifying ambush, and within seconds, the entire block erupted in chaos. The noise shattered the quiet neighborhood. Down the street, neighbors jumped up. One neighbor said her niece heard glass breaking and the chaotic noise outside. When the niece looked out her side window, she saw a man running at full speed up the street, disappearing into the dark. Another neighbor was in his front bedroom when the sounds startled him. He ran downstairs, thinking to himself, "Those aren't firecrackers." Seconds later, he heard a woman scream. Then, total silence. Neighbors rushed outside to help, doing everything they could to try and save Tiesha's life before first responders arrived. Tragically, it was too late. Tiesha's injuries were too severe and she slipped away right there on the street outside the home she had bought just months prior. Her friend miraculously survived the harrowing ordeal, though she was rushed to a local hospital with severe injuries. When the Baltimore County Police arrived, they immediately realized this wasn't a random act. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. Everything about the timing pointed out that these individuals knew the women's schedule. They were waiting for them to return, possibly planning to strike the moment they got out of that car. Investigators stated that they believed the women were clearly targeted. Neighbors believed the same thing too. People on the block felt like whoever was responsible had likely been waiting for Tiesha and her friend to return home. Witnesses also noted that a getaway car had been parked just down the street. But despite canvassing the neighborhood, knocking on doors, and searching for a motive, the trail began to go cold. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. For a decade, Tiesha's family was left with an immense, agonizing void. 10 years later, Tiesha's family is still searching for justice. In 2025, loved ones reached out publicly asking media outlets to highlight the case again. On April 9, 2025, investigators released more information on social media of a possible person of interest connected to the case. That may have given the family a small sense of hope that maybe investigators were finally getting somewhere. And just recently, on March 9, 2026, marking 11 years since that tragic night, Baltimore County detectives renewed their public appeals and went back out into the Dundalk neighborhood to re-interview neighbors. At the recording of this video, Tiesha's case still remains unsolved. May Tiesha Rogers continue to rest in peace. My deepest condolences to her family. I send them my well wishes. Cases like this are sad because Tiesha seemed like somebody who was genuinely trying to build a future for herself. She had her whole life ahead of her, a young homeowner, family-oriented, caring, helpful, and in one moment, everything changed. Like many cold cases, there are so many unknowns, especially since it's believed that Tiesha and her friend were targeted. And honestly, when you think about the timing of everything, it does raise questions. How did they know the women were coming back at that exact moment? Was somebody watching the house? Did somebody know Tiesha's routine? Those are some questions that's been lingering for over a decade now. Fam, I want to hear from you. Do you think this situation was personal? Do y'all think Tiesha herself was the intended target? Or could somebody around her have brought problems to her doorstep without her even realizing it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Alright fam, that's it for this episode of the Baltimore Way. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative and believe these stories matter, please consider liking this video so more people can see it. Subscribe for more stories like this that deserve to be heard. And most importantly, take care of yourself and each other. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times. Until next time.